Deep Trouble, The Gulf Coast Oil Spill. Written by Ned Jensen. Focus question. Why is there a debate about offshore drilling? Words to know. Absorb, contaminated, engulfed, guarantee, inferno, marine, minimize, oil slick, precautions, refineries, toxic, wetlands. Tables of content. Explosion aboard. The deep water horizon. 4. Bigger problems. 6. Why oil spills are disasters. 9. The risk of oil rigs. 11. Other big oil spills. 12. Cleaning up oil spills. 13. The offshore drilling debate. 15. Glossary. 16. Explosion aboard deep water horizon. On night of April 20, 2010, an explosion lit on the sky. An explosion lit up the sky in the Gulf of Mexico. A fireball rocked the Deepwater Horizon oil drilling rig as it worked 42 miles off the coast of Louisiana. Within seconds, fire engulfed the Deepwater Horizon. 126 workers on the rig found themselves caught in a fiery inferno, nowhere else to escape but the ocean itself. 11 of the 226 workers died in the explosion. The others were rescued by nearby the ship, and the injured ones were flown to hospitals in Alabama. For 2 days, ships attempted to put out fires by spraying huge amount of water into a massive oil rig, but on April 22, 2010, a second explosion sent the Deepwater Horizon to the bottom of the ocean. The loss of lives, the injuries, and the destruction of the oil rig were just a major But at the time of the accident in the days followed, no one knew how serious the disaster would become. The bigger problems. The Deepwater Horizon accident was much worse was much worse than it first feared because the safety valve of the well failed. Safety valves on the oil well are designed to shut off the flow of oil in emergencies. But for some reason, the safety valve on the well beneath the Deepwater Horizon didn't close. Because of that failure, about 60,000 barrels of oil leaked into the ocean each day. By May 3, the oil slick covered an area of 2,500 square miles, larger than the state of Delaware. By July, by July 15, when the well was capped from the top, about 5 million barrels of oil had leaked into the Gulf of Mexico. Over 1,000 people went to work on solving the problem created by the leaking well. The small submarines were used to flip a switch that was supposed to close the safety valve, but all the attempts to stop the leak failed. As the first edges of the oil slick neared the Gulf Coast shores, another solution was tried. The idea was to build a large metal box was a large metal box. Uh, Another solution was tried the idea of building a large metal box to place over the leaking well. The oil that collected inside the box would be pumped into the tanker ships that will haul the oil away. Unfortunately, this plan was tried. The box became blocked with frozen crystals of natural gas. The cold temperatures at the high pressure at the seafloor kept the box from working. Plans were also made to drill relief well next to the leaking well. The relief well would connect with the original well and would be used to pump mud or concrete down the pipes to try to plug it. On September 16, a relief well finally reached the original well. Mud and cement were pumped in this well. On September 19, the UN declared plugged from the bottom for good. Why oil spills are disastrous? The harmful effects of oil spills becomes clear when the environment and the economy. Countless birds, fishes, and other animals can be killed by oil reaching the areas where they hunt and live. Beaches and wetlands can become contaminated with toxic oil. Wildlife refuges that are home to rare animals can be destroyed. Many coastal towns rely on oyster beds, fishing, and shrimping industry for jobs. Other towns have beautiful beaches and fishing areas that attract tourists and other people for recreation. All these important part of the Gulf Coast economy can be severely damaged or even destroyed by the spilled oil. The possible effect of lives on people who live in the path of spill is enormous. Some estimate put the damage of fishing and tourism by Deepwater Horizon spill more than 5 billion. Other big oil spills. Some of the world's biggest oil spills have been a result of shipwrecks. One of the most famous spills was caused by the ship Exxon Valdez in the unspoiled water of the coast of Alaska. More than 10 million gallons of oil leaked from the ship, causing major damage to the environment. Hundreds of thousands of animals died from the contact with oil, and the effect of the spill was felt years afterward. However, the oil spills were created on purpose. In 1991, Iraqi soldiers released oil into the Persian Gulf to try to prevent enemy soldiers from landing on their shores. Up to 520 million gallons of oil were released in the water, creating an oil slick that covers 4,000 square miles. Cleaning up oil spills. Trying to clean up oil spills is difficult and expensive. Cleaning up spills caused by Deepwater Horizon explosion will cost a company that owns a well billions of dollars. There's no easy way to remove oil from the environment once it's spilled. Authorities use a variety of methods to deal with the damage from the spill. Methods of cleaning up oil spills. Absorption. Special towers are used to absorb oil that's coating sand and other materials along shore. Burning. When conditions are fairly calm and oil is fairly thick, it can be set on fire. Burning may remove oil from the surface but fills the air with harmful black smoke. Chemicals. Planes flying over an oil spill drop chemicals that break the oil into tiny droplets that sink below the surface. Natural bacteria living in the ocean eat the droplets. Containment. Booms or long floating tubes are strung out to form a barrier to prevent the oil from spreading. Microbes. Tiny microscopic oil-eating organisms are spread over the spill. They eat and digest the oil. Power washing. Power sprayers are used to remove oil from rocks and other objects that get coated with oil comes ashore. Skimming. Ships with special equipment are used to skim oil, collecting with floating booms. The offshore drilling debate. As long as the world depends on oil for energy, there will be pressure looking for new sources of oil. Many people oppose offshore drilling and they say the risk of oil spilling, leaking are not risks worth taking. Many others argue that our growing energy needs for drilling the ocean floor necessary. Scientists know that big pockets of oil lie beneath ocean floor in many regions of the world. Those who favor offshore drilling believe that proper safety precautions will minimize the risk involved. But as the Deepwater Horizon accident and others like it show, we can never guarantee that large oil spills won't happen.